What is happening, Scoop Troop? Welcome back to Sheeran Scoop, your absolute go-to for all the breaking news and hottest takes that matter. The news cycle is absolutely electric right now, and we've got a packed show that you will not want to miss. Get ready for some absolutely massive updates that are set to shake things up. We're diving headfirst into the action, bringing you the inside scoop you crave, faster than ever before. From the squared circle to the biggest events on the horizon, we're covering it all with the energy you expect. Buckle up, because this is your essential briefing, and you're getting it first, right here, right now. First up, the wrestling world is buzzing about an upcoming international showdown. We're talking about a massive clash in the City of Light, and the odds are already telling a story. Get ready for a legendary name making his French debut and potentially his last stand. Will a rising star or a bitter rival crash the party? We've got the betting lines, the predictions, and all the inside info you need to know. Then, we're tracking the feuds that are igniting the wrestling landscape. From bitter rivalries reigniting to new tensions boiling over, we're breaking down who's facing off against whom and what it all means for the future. Get ready for an in-depth look at the heated matchups and the backstage drama that's keeping everyone on the edge of their seats. And the buzz doesn't stop there. We're also looking at the potential appearances of a major star down under and getting insights from a WWE legend on how a career-defining final match should be booked. Who will be the next opponent for an icon, and what's the ultimate plan for their swan song? All this and more. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to Sheeran Scoop for all your breaking news, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an update. Let's get into it. The Paris Showdown, betting on legends and underdogs. The stage is set for a colossal event in the heart of Paris, where the odds are leaning towards a triumphant night for the favorites, but whispers of an upset are in the air. This highly anticipated event is set to feature a monumental clash. John Cena, one of the most iconic figures in wrestling history, is slated for his first, and remarkably, his final match in France. The anticipation is palpable, as fans eagerly await to see if this legendary performer will go out on a high note in the City of Light. However, the question on everyone's mind is whether the charismatic yet controversial Logan Paul can disrupt the narrative and spoil Cena's potential farewell celebration. We're diving deep into the betting lines for all 5 scheduled matches, dissecting the implied probabilities, and offering our expert predictions for this must-see event. You can find these electrifying 2025 WWE Clash in Paris odds exclusively at BetOnline, accessible through their Sports Wrestling Clash in Paris section. This event marks a significant moment for John Cena, not just for his French debut, but also as it coincides with his planned retirement at the close of 2025. After a recent stint as a villain, Cena has returned to his beloved role as a crowd favorite, setting the stage for a compelling encounter against Paul. The narrative intensified following their previous encounter at Money in the Bank in June, where both Cena and Paul suffered a defeat against Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. The rivalry escalated on the August 22 episode of SmackDown, culminating in Cena delivering an attitude adjustment to Paul, only for Paul to retaliate later in the show. This sets up what promises to be an entertaining, albeit low-stakes, contest. While Cena's heel turn was a brief chapter, his return to his heroic persona is a welcome sight, and Paul is positioned perfectly as the antagonist. Predicting Cena's victory in his sole appearance in Paris seems like a safe bet, and at odds of -700, it's a strong favorite, though perhaps best utilized in a parlay to boost overall returns. The card also features a compelling international showdown between Sheamus, hailing from Dublin, Ireland, and Rusev, representing Bulgaria. This bout is poised to be a good all-fashioned Donnybrook fight, Sheamus, signature match type, where virtually anything goes. With odds of +250 for Sheamus to secure the win, this presents a valuable betting opportunity, especially given the scarcity of potential upsets on the card. Sheamus, a seasoned veteran, is a strong candidate to emerge victorious here. In another major matchup, Roman Reigns is heavily favored against Braun Breaker, with odds at -2,000. Reigns and Breaker have a history stemming from War Games in November 2024, and their feud has been reignited since July. Their clash on the August 25 episode of Raw saw them go head-to-head, with Reigns expected to continue his path towards the World Heavyweight Championship, currently held by Seth Rollins. Breakker, being part of Rollins' faction, the Vision, is likely a stepping stone in this narrative. For the women's division, Nikki Bella's return sets up a high-profile bout against Women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch. Despite Bella's recent comeback, Lynch is expected to retain her title, especially as she needs a strong challenger after her feud with Lyra Valkyria. The predictions lean towards Lynch securing the win. Finally, the main event features Seth Rollins defending his world championship in a fatal four-way match against LA Knight, CM Punk, and Jey Uso. Rollins, at -3,000 odds, is the overwhelming favorite to retain his title, with potential interference from Bronson Reed or Braun Breaker expected. The betting advice focuses on Sheamus, match as the primary wager, with Cena and Lynch also being strong picks to round out a betting slip. But before we get too deep into the betting strategy, can you believe the action heating up across the wrestling world? Stay tuned as we break down the latest feuds and potential matchups that have fans talking. WWE SmackDown Feud Tracker, unpacking the latest rival. As the dust settles from another intense week of WWE SmackDown, the landscape of ongoing feuds continues to evolve, setting the stage for future blockbuster events. Notably absent once more was Cody Rhodes, still in recovery from the brutal claymore delivered by Drew McIntyre 2 weeks prior. Stepping into the void and directly confronting McIntyre was the returning Randy Orton. In a dramatic moment in Dublin, the Viper made his presence felt, delivering a signature RKO to McIntyre as the latter was concluding a promo. This confrontation strongly suggests a high-stakes singles match between McIntyre, the Scottish psychopath, and Orton, the apex predator, is on the horizon, likely at the upcoming Clash in Paris. The anticipation for this clash is immense, and it's speculated that Cody Rhodes might make a post-match appearance to set up a future undisputed WWE Championship match against McIntyre at WrestlePalooza in Indianapolis. Adding to the excitement, a special appearance by Becky Lynch led to the first direct confrontation between Tiffany Stratton and The Man since their memorable rivalry in NXT. While a full-fledged singles match on the main roster between these two powerhouses would be a dream scenario for many fans, for now, their interaction in a tag match in Dublin will have to suffice. Current projections indicate that Tiffany Stratton is poised to continue her reign as SmackDown Women's Champion well into 2026. Despite a potential rematch with Jade Cargill looming, Stratton's dominance is expected to persist. The current state of the faction involving Sami Zayn and Jimmy Uso against Solo Sikoa and the debuting main event talent force, MTF, is proving to be a point of contention for viewers. The faction currently lacks a palpable threat or significant impact, with Sami and Jimmy appearing to be the dominant forces in their backstage interactions. This dynamic leaves the MTF faction struggling to establish credibility and a serious presence within the wrestling narrative. Meanwhile, tensions continue to simmer between The Miz and Carmelo Hayes. Miz's decision to tag himself in at Carmelo's expense this week has added another layer to their developing partnership. Despite these internal frictions, the team has been accumulating victories, leading to speculation that they might capture tag team gold. However, the crucial question remains: how long can Carmelo Hayes tolerate the increasing disrespect from the Awesome One before seeking a different path? In a developing singles rivalry, Piper Niven secured a significant victory over Charlotte Flair, lending considerable momentum to their burgeoning feud. This win comes at a time when Charlotte was without her tag team partner, Alexa Bliss. While the desire is to see Chelsea Green continue her ascent in the ranks, current predictions suggest that Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss will likely retain their tag team titles for several more months, eventually moving past Green and her allies, Niven and Alba Fire. Finally, the intense brawl between two unnamed competitors this week has significantly amplified the intrigue surrounding their eventual match. Both individuals are in critical need of a victory to break out of the upper mid-card and make a strong push towards the main event scene and potential WWE Championship contention. The visual of their confrontation has certainly piqued fan interest in seeing these two collide. These developing rivalries are heating up the SmackDown brand and creating massive anticipation for what's next. But speaking of anticipation, did you catch the latest sighting of a major wrestling superstar all the way in Australia? We've got the details on what it could mean for an upcoming international event. The American Nightmare Down Under, Cody Rhodes' mysterious Australian sighting. In a development that has sent ripples of speculation through the global wrestling community, Cody Rhodes, affectionately known as the American Nightmare, has reportedly been spotted in Australia. This sighting, far from his usual wrestling arenas, has immediately ignited fervent discussion about his potential involvement in upcoming major events, particularly the highly anticipated WWE Clash in Paris 2025. Rhodes, a central figure in WWE's recent storylines and a fan favorite, has been on a hiatus, recovering from previous in-ring exertions, and his whereabouts have been a subject of keen interest. The context for this sighting is crucial. With major international events on the horizon, any movement or public appearance by a star of Rhodes' caliber is immediately scrutinized for clues about future booking. His presence in Australia, a significant distance from upcoming WWE fixtures, raises questions about whether this is a personal trip, a promotional appearance, or, most intriguingly, a strategic move to build anticipation for a surprise appearance or a new storyline. While specific details surrounding the sighting remain somewhat vague, the mere fact of Rhodes being seen on Australian soil has fueled a flurry of theories. Could this be related to WWE's international expansion efforts? Is he perhaps filming content or engaging in promotional activities that could tie into future global events? The most exciting possibility, however, is that this could be a subtle yet deliberate breadcrumb leading fans to believe he might make an unexpected appearance at the Clash in Paris. Such a move would undoubtedly send shockwaves through the event, adding another layer of star power and intrigue to an already stacked card. Fans are dissecting every piece of information, looking for connections to potential opponents or storylines that could be unfolding behind the scenes. The timing is also significant, as major events often involve surprise returns or appearances designed to create maximum impact. The impact of this sighting on the fanbase has been immediate and widespread. Social media platforms are abuzz with discussions, fan theories, and hopeful predictions about Rhodes' next move. Many see this as a clear indication that the American Nightmare is gearing up for a significant return, and the possibility of him appearing in Paris, especially given his ongoing narrative importance, is a tantalizing prospect. Analysts and wrestling commentators are weighing in, trying to decipher the strategic implications of his location, with many believing it's too coincidental to be a mere holiday. The community is united in its eagerness to see Rhodes back in action and is actively seeking any confirmation or further clues. Could this sighting be a sign of bigger things to come on the international stage? And speaking of international stars and their future, we're also hearing from a WWE legend about how one iconic career should be brought to a spectacular close. WWE legend bully Ray's blueprint for John Cena's grand finale. As John Cena's farewell tour continues its final leg, the WWE Universe is captivated by the unfolding narrative of his impending retirement. Adding his expert voice to the conversation is WWE Hall of Famer Bully Ray, who has laid out what he believes are the three most compelling booking options for the 17-time world champion's ultimate in-ring appearance. Ray's insights, shared on Busted Open Radio, highlight a critical decision point for WWE management as they plan the iconic send-off for one of the industry's most recognizable faces. The core of Bully Ray's analysis centers on a pivotal choice: whether Cena's final match should serve as a platform to elevate a new generation of talent by having him lose, or if it should culminate in a storybook ending where Cena exits as a champion. This strategic decision carries significant weight in shaping the legacy of both Cena and the wrestler who ultimately shares the spotlight with him in his swan song. Cena is slated to retire at the end of 2025, with his final match officially scheduled for December 13th at Saturday night's main event in Boston. He has a limited number of appearances remaining, making each of his final bouts a must-watch event. Among the already confirmed matchups on Cena's farewell tour are his highly anticipated bouts against Logan Paul at the Clash in Paris on August 31st and against Brock Lesnar at WrestlePalooza on September 20th. However, his opponent for the true retirement match remains a mystery, with Cena himself expressing openness to whoever WWE selects. Bully Ray's primary preference is for Cena to conclude his career with a loss, specifically suggesting a rising star like Braun Breaker. Ray articulated that a scenario where Cena passes the torch to Breaker would establish the latter as a megastar, a sentiment that underscores the importance of this final match in building future WWE champions. This approach would provide a definitive passing of the generational baton. Conversely, if WWE opts for a triumphant exit for Cena, Ray identifies only one fitting opponent: Seth Rollins. In this scenario, Cena would defeat Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship on his final night, creating a celebratory atmosphere and a fitting conclusion to his storied career. Such a victory would mark Cena's 18th WWE World Championship, further solidifying his record and potentially concluding his long-standing rivalry with Rollins, whom he has faced numerous times throughout the year. While Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was mentioned by Cena himself as a dream opponent, Ray considers this option unlikely, despite its high-profile appeal. Ray emphasizes that the ultimate goal for WWE should be to maximize the magnitude of Cena's farewell, whether that means a historic title win or strategically positioning the company's future. He concludes that if a reunion with The Rock isn't feasible, dethroning Rollins for the championship represents the next best option to create a memorable and impactful final chapter for John Cena. These are some serious options being discussed for a wrestling icon's final moments. And that wraps up our deep dives for today, but we've still got a lightning round recap of all the major stories coming your way right after this. And that's a wrap on another packed Sheeran scoop. We've covered the potential upsets in Paris, the feuds heating up the SmackDown roster, a potential sighting of Cody Rhodes Down Under, and expert insights on John Cena's final match. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed the show, subscribe to Sheeran Scoop for all your breaking news and hottest takes, and ring that notification bell so you're always the first to know. Also, drop a comment below with your predictions and follow us on all our socials for even more exclusive content. We'll see you in the next one.